reading through the entire Bible, one chapter a day. Today we get to the book of Jeremiah, and I'm going to do an introduction to the book of Jeremiah before tomorrow we start reading on chapter 1. So this is the introduction to the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah's life and Jeremiah's book are a single piece. He wrote what he lived what he wrote. There is no dissonance between his life and his book. Some people write better than they live. Others live better than they write. Jeremiah, writing or living, was the same Jeremiah. This is important to know because Jeremiah is the prophet of choice for many when we find ourselves having to live through difficult times and want some trustworthy help in knowing what to do, how to pray, or how to carry on. We'd like some verification of credentials. This book provides the verification. We live in disruptive times. The decades preceding and following the pivotal third millennium are not exactly unprecedented. They have certainly been comparable times of disruption in the past that left everyone reeling, wondering what on earth and in heaven was going on. But whatever their occasion or size, troubles required attention. Jeremiah's troubled life spanned one of the most troublesome periods in Hebrew history. The decades leading up to the fall of Jerusalem in 587 BC, followed by the Babylonian exile. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and Jeremiah was in the middle of all of it, sticking it out, praying and preaching, suffering and striving, writing and believing. He lived through crushing storms of hostility and furies of bitter doubt. Every muscle in his body was stretched to the limit by fatigue. Every thought in his mind was subjected to questioning. Every feeling in his heart was put through fires of ridicule. He experienced it in agonizing and wrote it all magnificently. What happens when everything you believe in and live by is smashed to bits by circumstances? Sometimes the reversals of what we expect from God come to us as individuals. Other times as entire communities. When it happens, does catastrophe work to reform our lives to conform to who God actually is and not the way we imagined or wished him to be? Does it lead to an abandonment of God? Or worse, does it trigger a stubborn grasping to the old collapsed system of belief, holding on for dear life to an illusion? Anyone who lives in disruptive times looks for companions who have been through them earlier, wanting to know how they went through it, how they made it, what it was like. In looking for a companion who has lived through catastrophic disruption and survived with grace, biblical people more often than not come upon Jeremiah and receive him as a true, honest and God-revealing companion for the worst of times. So tomorrow we'll get into Jeremiah chapter 1. Hope you can join me each day as we read the Bible one chapter a day.